Hello and welcome to Math Lessons with Linda. Today's topic is right triangle trig, and today we're going to work on finding missing angles in a triangle rather than finding sides. That was a previous video. You may want to go back and look at that before we start this. Here's our first triangle today. So we have a right angle. Here is the angle that we're trying to find. And I now have to have two sides rather than just one side. And remember your SOHCAHTOA, that's going to help us determine which trig function to use. So I'm standing at my angle, and when I'm looking out, I notice that I'm right next to the 3. So that tells me this is going to be my adjacent side. And here's the 5. It's directly across from my right angle. So that's my hypotenuse. So if I have adjacent and I have hypotenuse, that tells me that my trig function is going to be the cosine. Now here's where we're going to do something a little bit different to solve to get an angle, because remember, we don't know what the angle is. We know that we need to find the angle. So I'm still going to set it up like I did before, except this time I don't fill in anything for my angle. But I do know the entire trig ratio this time is 3/5. This is how we take care of finding the angle. What we're going to do is we're going to tell our calculator, we know the trig ratio. We're going to tell you that. Please give us the angle. And this is how you set it up. On your calculator, you have what's called the inverse cosine function. And when you're using this inverse cosine or inverse sine, whichever trig function you're using, you are going to tell the calculator, this is the trig ratio. I need you to tell me what the angle is. So locate this on your calculator, enter in the 3/5, and then we will round our angles to the nearest whole degree. When we take the inverse cosine of 3/5, we get approximately a 53-degree angle. Again, make sure that you are in degrees and not in radians when you're going to find what your angle is. Let's try one more of these. So here is our right triangle. We have a side that's 24. We have a side that's 10. And here is our unknown angle down here that we would like to figure out. So we're standing here at this angle looking out. I notice that 24 is across from me. That's my opposite side. The 10 is right next to my angle. So that's my adjacent side. I'm not using the hypotenuse for this one. So opposite and adjacent tells me I need to use the tangent function. So again, I don't know my angle. So I'm going to tell the calculator, hey, I know what the ratio is. It's 24/10. So this is how I set it up. And now I'm going to tell the calculator, I need you to do the inverse of 24/10. So find that function, enter in 24/10, and you should get to the nearest degree a 67-degree angle. So the setup is the same for these equations. The only thing that's different when you are finding an angle only is to use this inverse for whichever trig function you're using. And that is how you can find an angle in a triangle that's a right triangle.